The Inflation Reduction Act does so many things that for so many years, so many of us have fought to make happen. In this historic moment, Democrats sided with the American people, and every single Republican in the Congress sided with the special interest in this vote. Every single one.
At the White House this week, Democrats celebrated a long-awaited legislative victory. On Tuesday, President Biden signed the $740 billion Inflation Reduction Act, taking several key issues off his agenda ahead of the midterms. The plan includes the most substantial federal investment to fight climate change in the history of the United States. It also caps prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for Medicare recipients. And it extends pandemic-generated subsidies to help 13 million Americans pay for health insurance. The measure is being paid for by new taxes on large companies and increased IRS enforcement of wealthy individuals and entities. I spoke with Democratic Congressman Sean Casten from Illinois' 6th Congressional District about the bill's impact.
Congressman, good to see you. So Democrats got their bill through, a $750 billion Inflation Reduction Act. But I have to ask you, the bill, of course, used to be $2 trillion. Joe Manchin killed that. But everybody's happy about this. What didn't you get with this smaller bill that you would have gotten on the larger bill?
Well, so when we started the process, Paul, this was everything that the president had in his American Jobs Plan that the Republican senators were not interested in putting in the bipartisan infrastructure plan. And so that had issues of child care, a whole series of issues. And so a whole lot of parts of the president's agenda are not in this bill. Universal pre-K, community college, remember all those things we were talking about. When it was clear that that was falling apart, I'll take some credit that I led an effort with 90 of my colleagues to say, we've got to move forward on the climate provisions, anchor on that and move forward. And so we have substantially all of the climate provisions that were there. And we also have quite a few of the healthcare provisions. So capping insulin costs at $35 for people on Medicare, ensuring that seniors don't spend more than $2,000 out of pocket. So it's a portion of the healthcare and most of the climate, but we lost the other pieces that we just couldn't get through the Senate this term.
So that becomes clear. Let's focus in on the climate provisions. I know those are very, very important to you, and those that impact Illinois. As you said, there's electricity credits, electric vehicle credits in Illinois, $7,500 for a new EV, $4,000 for a used. But here's the thing. I'm sort of curious. A lot of people say they can't afford electric vehicles. There's solar panel tax credits. Are the credits big enough to get people to make this shift in a country where people say, I can't afford a lot of this stuff?
Well, so the three key words in clean energy are deploy, deploy, and deploy. Because if you have a solar panel on your roof, you can afford the electricity from a solar panel because it's free. Right? If you have an electric vehicle in your car, you can afford the fuel because it's free. We had to pay for it. And so what we did is provide these tax credits to make it easier for all Americans, not just people who have a lot of disposable wealth to do it. The tax credits that you described, and I don't want to disappoint your fabulously wealthy viewers, they're only available to people who are making less than $150,000 a year individually, or I think it's 225. Don't quote me on that direct. So we've very intentionally targeted these towards folks at the mid-level, lower end of the income scale, and all the analysis is that that's going to push it forward, and it's also going to help lower the cost by getting the volumes up so that more people can afford it.
On transportation projects, Illinois is already the recipient of funds through the infrastructure bill. This bill seems to bring more money tied to extreme weather and climate issues. How do those sums interact with each other?
Yeah, so this bill is primarily an energy bill. The transportation pieces that we have is that we have a separate title around environmental justice to make sure that we help folks who have historically been disadvantaged by dirty energy or will be disadvantaged in the transition. So for example, there's very targeted funds in here to help get mass transit resources into communities that may have had a highway run through their neighborhood and break up their community 50 years ago. Let's restore some of those links. Let's improve it. But it's really targeted at those areas that have historically been disadvantaged. The big infrastructure dollars, the statewide infrastructure for highways and bridges and tolls is primarily in the already passed bipartisan infrastructure package.
I do have to ask you about this IRS provision because Republicans are making a big deal of the hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents, basically guaranteeing everybody that those who make small amounts of money will have their doorbells ringing with IRS agents the next day.
So I am sorry that the Republicans feel that government shouldn't work. I respectfully disagree. Government should work. The Trump head of the IRS told us last term, that the amount of money collected by the IRS every year is $1 trillion less than the amount that is due in taxes. And that's because the IRS has been so historically underfunded. And that what it causes is the IRS only audits people at the bottom end of the income scale because they don't have the resources to do really complicated audits. So what we did is we said, let's look at how much the IRS needs to do the things they need to do, as some people would say, to enforce the laws we already have. And we then gave them those resources so that they can now go through. Some of this is indeed for people to do audits. Janet Yellen has expressly directed them, don't audit anybody under $400,000. But the big money, it's the Donald Trumps of the world who are gaming the IRS of the system. It's not the firefighter who's sitting at home who maybe missed a line on their form. But the other piece is they just need resources. The IRS has not had the ability to digitize all the tax records. That's shameful. In 2022, they don't have that. So that actually generates several $100 billion of revenue to lower our tax burden, to lower our deficits. And it's just making sure that government can work.
On the Affordable Care Act stuff, well, one of the things, the limitations of the $35, that's only going to be for Medicare. It's not going to be for private insurance. That got knocked out, and it won't be felt until next year. Does that help folks this November?
So there's a couple things, and you're right. And this was sort of because of the Senate rules, we could only do things that have a direct effect on federal budget. So policy changes like directing somebody on a private healthcare plan, we couldn't do because of the way Senate rules work. I hope maybe we can expand the Senate and take care of that. But you're right, this primarily affects Medicare. The two big things on Medicare, well, three big things. We cap out-of-pocket expenses for seniors at $2,000 a year. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 for seniors on Medicare. And we give Medicare the ability to negotiate. This was an ability that they had until George W. Bush took it away, to negotiate with pharmaceutical manufacturers to lower drug costs. Those things will take a year or two to phase in, but they will go through and hit there. And I would hope we could then expand that into the private sector. But for now, because Medicare is a federal outlay, that's what we did. Again, it's going to save the taxpayer a lot of money, because that means the taxpayer is not paying Medicare just to funnel money to the pharmaceutical industry.
So recent Ipsos polls show that 59% of people just aren't even familiar with what's in this bill. Calling it the Inflation Reduction Act, by the way, is a brilliant marketing ploy. But some economists say we're actually not knocking down inflation very much at all, certainly not in the short term. Your thoughts?
So this will absolutely, in the medium term, have a very positive effect on lowering energy costs because it gives people access to cheaper energy. It will absolutely lower drug costs in the medium term. In the longer term, we're going to cut our deficits by $300 billion over the next 10 years and almost $2 trillion over the next 20 years. That reduces borrowing. That's good for inflation. As to people's awareness of it, that's why you and I are here, Paul, talking about it, and would encourage people to sort of do some research. But for my money, the big impacts are we are going to reduce CO2 emissions by 40% by mid-century. That is something we can be proud of. It's 60% less than what's necessary, but this is the biggest climate bill that's ever passed. And it's going to lower people's drug costs. That's a win no matter how you brand it.
Just finally, about 30 seconds left, but as you know, this was party line vote. Not one Republican voted for it in the Senate or the House, but you know that in election season, Republicans will certainly be taking credit for it around the country and talking about the things they brought home to their districts. Fair enough?
Look, I care what we did. I think it's reprehensible. I mean, I gave a speech on the House floor the moments before it passed, and I said, all of you are going to tell your grandkids that you were here when we passed this bill, regardless of how you voted. This is something to be proud of, and I'll leave it to them why they voted to not lower seniors' health care costs, why they voted to not give people cheaper energy, why they voted to not cut the deficit. But I know what we did, and I'm proud of what we did.
Congressman Sean Casten, thank you for your time, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
Coming up.